Rob Key is ending the 2015 LV County Championship season in fine form as he scored his second 100 in 2 games to keep Kent in control of their match with Glamorgan on the second day at the SWALEC Stadium. The home team started the second morning on 65 for 4 but lost night watchman Andrew Salter to the second ball as he lost his off stump to Darren Stevens. That meant that half of Glamorgan's wickets had fallen and they were still 244 runs behind. A follow-on was a big possibility. Anya Donald had struck the first boundary of the day but was soon also bowled by Stevens for 16, now with the score on 91 for 6. And that became 101 for 7 when Chris Cook, who'd resumed his innings on 20, nicked Matt Hunn behind to go for 31. The Welshmen were in big trouble and so Graham Wagg and Craig Merceda, 2 all-rounders who've put in some impressive performances this summer with both bat and ball, decided to go after the Kent bowling whenever they could. 160 was the target they needed to get to avoid being invited to bat again next, and thanks to shots such as these, this pair took their team to within just a couple of runs of that, with a partnership of 57, which was produced in only 9 overs. Adam Riley was called into the attack, and at the end of the second over of his spell, he watched Merceda mistime a shot over the top to find Daniel Bell-Drummond in the deep instead. He was out for 33, but Wagg remained to ensure that the follow-on was indeed avoided. Wagg was left with only Michael Hogan for company when Mark Wallace, batting at number 10, went back instead of forward to Riley and was bowled for 9. But to his credit, Wagg kept going and took 16 runs off 4 balls from the off-spinner, passing a 50 in the process of 56. He's had his best ever season with the bat, and this innings typified the kind of performances he's been putting in throughout. Wagg was the last to go in the same over for 58, Bell-Drummond with another catch at long on to give Riley figures of 4 for 47. Glamorgan were all out at lunch for 207. This had been an extraordinary game so far. Only 4 wickets had fallen in the first 2 sessions, but 16 had followed in the next couple. The 5th of the match saw only 1 man get out. Kent had a first innings advantage of 102, and Bell-Drummond, along with Key, were soon adding to that in spades on what had become a lovely late summer's day, and one that batsmen across the country have been waiting for some time after that horrible month of August. Both of the Kent openers made the most of these conditions and began to fill their boots with some tremendous cricket shots. Bell-Drummond has had something of an up and down season at the top of the order. Indeed, his own form has pretty much summed up that of his team, one which has at times promised a lot without always delivering. This was the kind of knock everyone knows Bell-Drummond is capable of, as he eased to a half-century off 77 balls, 8 of which he'd sent to the boundary rope. His partnership with Key had added 114 runs to the lead in 26 overs, the former England man making 44 of those. But then, somewhat surprisingly, Bell-Drummond stretched too far forward and edged Salter to Colin Ingram at slip. Bell-Drummond was out for 54, his side coming out after tea with 124 runs on the scoreboard and the lead now standing at 226. Joe Denley was back in at number 3 after batting at 5 in the first innings, and he was quickly adding to Glamorgan's pain, enjoying himself against the home spinners. The pitch now looked as flat as a pancake, the way he and Key were going about their business. Key's second 50 of this match had come off 106 balls with only 4 fours, but he added more boundaries to his tally as he moved through the numbers once again. He made 113 in his 1 innings against Lancashire last week and backed that up with 94 on the first day in Cardiff. He was into the 80s by this stage too. Denley too looked in fine fettle. This pulled 6 off Hogan, emphasising that point perfectly. Key, now in his 37th year, was at the 54th 100 of a wonderful first-class career well before the close of play, completing it with his 8th boundary off his 167th delivery. He'd really pushed on after getting to his 50, enjoying the sun on his back and the bowling he was faced with. It was a masterclass from a man who has more than 19,000 runs to his name in the first-class arena. Before stumps were drawn, Denley had also passed a 50 off 99 balls And as the shadows lengthened at the end of the day, he continued to make batting look very easy, eventually taking his partnership for the second wicket with Key to 142, Denley ending the day on 66 and Key on a season's best 117. And both have plenty of time to add many more on the penultimate day of this game, which will start with Kent on 256 for 1 for a very healthy lead of 358.